Okay.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining the Your Yes is Needed podcast as we are continuing our Why Not series. And to join us today is Linda Russo, who's up in Maine right now. And I met Linda at the last powerlifting competition for the USA Powerlifting Massachusetts State Championship. And then I met Linda backstage as she was like warming up. And I told Linda, hey, Linda, when you go out on stage, like, give everyone a show, like, let them know. And she was like, should I? I go, yeah, most definitely. And she was the highlight of the show. So I couldn't wait to, and then we reconnected, like someone that's actually on my powerlifting team. And so now I was like, wait, what? And it was just like it was super cool, like how like she knew you, and it was an awesome like connection. So I'm so glad I was able to reach out to you and do this interview. So can you let everyone know your name, and if you want to share your age, by all means. If you're not, it's cool. So
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, take over the floor.
Okay. So my name is Linda Russo, and my age is, well, I just turned 74. I used to be 73, but I'm 74 now. I just turned 74 June 16th.
Nice. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so can I ask you what was the sudden desire to do a powerlifting meet?
So I was married for 43 years. My late husband was a total bodybuilder, weightlifter. He was working out 4 hours every day. When I met him when I was like 20. And so he had a 21-inch biceps and a 28-inch waist. And, you know, he couldn't get the clothes to fit him or anything. So I altered everything. But anyway, so he was always doing this, and he expected me to be just as strong as him, even though I never lifted, because girls didn't lift in that age. Very few women lifted. So he'd go to me, hey, Linda, here's a weight belt. We're gonna because we were building this camp in Maine, and we were we were always doing something. So he'd go, here, put this weight belt on. We're gonna move these 22 bags of cement, you know, from here down the hill, you know, and each bag is 70 pounds. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But I didn't want to be, you know, I wanted to be cool. So I put the weight belt and I sucked it up and I dealt with it, right? And then I thought to myself a couple of times, you know, I'd let myself slide a little and I wouldn't work out and stuff. And he'd go, oh, so we're gonna do this. What's wrong with you? And I'd be like, oh, nothing's wrong with me. So he was always like egging me on and stuff like that. And he was always in good shape. And his idea of vacation was to join a gym like in Florida or something. And do, you know, like Pilates and all this other kind of stuff. And then, so I really get into it, and he taught me all of the machines and what to do. And we used to do the circuits on the machines, you know, like crazy. And and he had severe PTSD from Vietnam, and that's how he kept it under control, was working out. But, you know, that was like, you know, that was just like a sidebar. We rode a motorcycle, and we used to keep it in the kitchen of the apartment, and we get out this 300-pound board to put it on the stairs, to drive it down the stairs and go for a ride. It was insane, but I always had to buckle up. You know what I mean? It was always like, oh, Linda, you want to learn to dive? And I'd be like, yeah, let's dive. And then you want a kayak? And we'd be 10 miles down some lake up in northern Maine, right? It was never like just a light kayak. It was always full bore. So anyways, that was how my life went, which was fine. I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. But so anyways, so when he passed away, I continued to work out, and then like I started hiking. Well, him and I always hiked, right? But when the kids came along, we hiked less and worked out more. And but I wasn't always in the gym. it was always him in the gym 4 hours still every day. And we had a gym in our house too, of course. Why wouldn't you, right? So then, so my, what was I gonna say? Oh, so as I lost my train of thought now. So, anyways, he was always encouraging health and fitness. And I have two girls that are now grown, and he always encouraged them to be, healthy, and he knew more about nutrition than anybody in the world. I mean, he'd be on to this, right? Oh no, you want this one, you want that one, don't take that, do this. And he was really smart like that. He knew all of that stuff. And so then when he passed away, I'm still working out. And we hiked like in our early years, and then the kids came along, we hiked less, and then kids got bigger and we hiked with them, but we hiked a lot up in Maine. And then my girlfriend had a house out in Utah, so I hiked a lot out there after he passed away. And then so now recently, like last year, I was in the house with my elliptical Pilates bicycle, right? And a universal downstairs, and every weight possibly you could imagine, right?
Mhm.
And I had given away a lot of them. And so I'd work out every day, and then I'd go hike. I live in North Reading, so I'd hike in this Terrell Parker State Forest. It wasn't really a hike. It was more like, 5 miles or so in the woods. There was no elevation.
That's still a lot, Linda. That's a lot. What do you mean, just 5 miles? That's a lot.
So well, then I wanted to hike Mount Washington, right? And so I have a cousin up in North Conway. So I said to her, listen, I want to hike Mount Washington. So she's like, well, I'm going to have to get myself in shape. I said, okay, fine. Because I had just done a lot of hiking in Bryce Canyon and all those Zion and all those places out west. So she goes, let's do Liberty. And that was like almost 5,000 feet. And I go, okay. So we did Liberty. And then she figured I'd, crap out, so to speak, because I wouldn't like it. And I'm like, okay, so what's next? So then she got into it, right? Because she used to hike a lot with another cousin of ours who passed away. So anyway, so she goes, oh, hey, you want to do the presidential traverse? I didn't even know what the hell it was. I said, yeah, let's sign up, right? So I figure the way I look, by this time I'm retired, right? I had retired the previous February, and I'm like game for anything, right? I'm like, well, why can't I do it? Because you know what? If you put age in front of it, like I learned to downhill ski when I was 72, because I said, you know what? Look at all these people downhill skiing. Why can't I do it?
Mm-hmm.
If I put age in front of it, then I sit in a chair for the rest of my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. And then I'm up here, we have a place on Moosehead Lake. And I said, I'm buying a boat. And then I had a boyfriend at the time who said, what are you, out of your mind? You never drove a boat before. So and my brother goes, get a 20-footer because the lake is really big. It's huge, right? And he goes, don't get anything smaller. And I said, well, that's kind of big. He said, you parked a Tahoe in Boston every day of your life when you worked. Why couldn't you drive a boat? And I said, yeah, you know what? You're right. So I got a boat. And then I learned how to drive it, and mainly dock it. Driving it is no issue. But so anyways, we decided we'll do the presidential traverse. So then I was gearing up. So I was putting weights in my backpack for the walk in Terrell Parker to gear up towards because the presidential traverse includes 9,000 feet of elevation, anywhere from 25 to 28 miles up on the ridge. Like if you sit on the hotel at Mount Washington on the porch and you look out on that mountain, on those mountains in front of you, we hiked that entire thing in
how many hours did it take you?
No, this wasn't an hour thing. We stayed at 4 different huts, AMC huts, right? Because we're Appalachian Mountain Club. So we stayed at we hiked up Jackson, and it was so steep at the top. We had 35-pound backpacks. that we were turtling back, right? So I said to her, here's a rope, tie the backpack on. I scurried up because there were no rungs or anything. So I scurried up the wall and then I pulled her backpack up. We just relayed them up because it was so steep. So anyway, we stayed at Mizpah, and then we did, I think it was either 8 or 9, 4,000, 5,000 footers, because you're up there at 5,000 feet. So then we did Mount Washington, which is 6288. And we did that in, just one day, but you're only going up 1,288 feet.
I like how you're just tossing those words, just only, like.
Well, you're already there. You might as well do it.
So that's right. What I was going to ask you. At any point, like at any of these why not moments that you had, were you like, okay, this was a bit extreme, or were you like, no, like let's just finish it? Like, did you entertain any of those thoughts?
I entertained some thoughts because this is what happened. So we went up and we did the Southern Traverse, okay? And then we stayed at Lake of the Clouds. And it was the most beautiful thing in the world to be up there in the mountains, and the weather was gorgeous, right? Mm-hmm. And then we went up Mount Washington and down, and we were at Lake of the Clouds for the second night. Well, that next day I got up and I had a cold, okay? Oh. I knew it wasn't COVID. I'm a nurse, but I knew that it wasn't COVID because I could feel like I just knew it was a cold, and it was in when everybody was taking their masks off. And I'm like, I have a cold. Now we're carrying 35 pounds on our back everywhere, right? Wow. And I said, so we had to do the Northern Traverse, and that was 8 miles to the next hut, right? Madison Hut. So my cousin goes to me, well, you know what we can do? We can just go down the Yamanusick Trail on Mount Washington and get to the bottom and forget the 8 miles. And I looked at her and I go, oh no. I said, I'm not forgetting these 8 miles. I go, I don't care if I am dead. I am doing these 8 miles. This is it. I made up my mind. I am doing this traverse. And she's like looking at me like I've lost my mind, right? And she's afraid I'm going to die. And she'll have to tell my kids. So anyway, so we start out, right? And this trip was a bear. I mean, it's total rocks, total huge granite rocks, right? And it's where the Cog Railway runs down. And so we're laughing, and I go, yeah, I said, maybe they'll take these bags down. I would have been fine if you didn't have to carry the 35 pounds on your back.
I have a weight vest in my gym that's like 25 pounds. And I'm a wimp with that. And I'm like, imagining you're doing a 35-pound backpack. Like, right. When I look at this weight vest, I'm never going to be like, oh no, I'm putting this on. If Linda carried 35 pounds in the middle of, I don't know where to climb.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere. I'm fine walking around with this 25-pound waist.
Right.
I will think of you every time I look at that weight. Linda did it.
It was just crazy. And so then we'd go up these ridges because it was the very tops of the mountains. And I'd say to her, because she lives up there, she lives up North Conway. I said, well, what's the name of this mountain? She goes, it doesn't have a name. I go, well, then I'm not doing it. I want credit for these. So we had the most fun, I'll tell you. I mean, I was like delirious.
And that was last year.
This was last August. Yeah, last August. This August, we're going to do Franconia Notch. So that's only 1, 2, 3, 5,000 footers.
Oh, only.
But it's I think it's about 10 miles. We'll stay at the hut one night. And because it's fun, but yeah, so we did it, and so halfway there, I looked at her, and we saw 4 people in 8 miles. It took us 12 hours to do this 8 miles. These were like, oh my God, and so I look at her and I go, I think you're lost. Now everything is rock, right, with the cairns. But I said, you know what? You're lost. And she goes, no, I'm not. I know right where I'm going. And I go, so we had this guy, Ed, who's a hiking maniac that we had asked about the trip and everything, help us out
Mhm.
with the traveling. And he goes, I said, take a picture and call Ed. She goes, I can't. She goes, it all looks the same. I go, I told you will look. So we had a good, anyway, so, be that as it may, we did another total of 14 4,000 footers last summer,
Wow.
4 and
Holy
5.
smokes.
She goes to me, so she's 9 years younger. She goes, we better get all the 5,000 footers out of the way, right? Because they're included in the 48. So get all the 5,000 footers out of the way before we get old. I go, I'm already 73. I go, what's the matter with you?
So from all this incredible hiking that you've been doing, and so where did suddenly where you're like, hey, I'm gonna lift weights, I'm gonna do a powerlifting meet?
Well, yeah. So I wanted to do more winter hiking than she wanted to do because she was working. Okay, she was working in the winter, but I was retired, and so I'm in my house and I'm working out in the house, and I'm just going to Harold Parker, and I was bored, so I joined Planet Fitness. Right, I joined Planet Fitness, and I got up to I kept going up and up on the leg press machine because I love the leg press machine.
Mhm.
So I was up to 350
Whoa.
in reps, right? And I was doing 300 on the adductors and abductors, right? And I was happy as a clam, right? And I kept doing the circuits on the machine, doing the circuits, right? And then my daughter, so I have an older daughter and she was pregnant last winter, and she trades services with Fitness Together in Stoneham because she owns wellness centers. So she owns Skin to Soul Massage. Okay. So she says, Ma, do you want to use my trainer while while I'm pregnant? I can't. I'll check and see if it's okay. I go, yeah. So then that was great because then I could ask him any questions. Hey, I'm doing so many reps with this. I don't
Mhm.
want to hurt myself. Should I go up? And then I got up to 400 pounds with him, on the leg press. And all of a sudden I thought to myself, and then these guys, couple of guys in the gym I made friends with, and they're helping me, right? They're helping me, like answering questions and stuff. And all of a sudden I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to enter a competition. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this powerlifting competition. And I had this little barbell that it was a gold barbell that you wear on your neck. I had given it to my husband at one point, but he wouldn't wear it because it stuck into his chest. And I go, as soon as I win my first comp, I said, I'm gonna put that on, right? So anyways, one day I got out of Fitness Together, and I said, you know what? I got to go to L'Occitane. I don't know whether I'm supposed to say that name, but I had to go to that store and get some skin products, right? So I meet Jalissa.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Jalissa says to me, so we're talking, she was hiking Cadillac Mountain herself. And I said, you don't need to go by yourself. Just follow me up. We did it last summer. I said, we can hike together and blah, blah, blah. Because she was 37 and I said to her, reverse the age, I'm 73. So anyways, she goes, I said, yeah, I can't remember whether she said she was gonna sign up for a powerlifting comp or whatever. Anyways, it came out and she goes, oh, I'm signing up for this one USAPL, right? So I'm like, oh, because I wanted to sign up, but it was out there and I didn't know where to sign up.
Right. You were looking for the direction.
Right. Some directions. So she goes, yeah, just sign up here. And I go, really? So I signed up.
Hey, you know what's funny is that she was supposed to sign up. And so you jumped on it so fast. By the time she was found the courage to sign up, it was already booked. And so she was saying, she was like, I felt like such a jerk because here she signed up right away and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then by the time she went to go do it, and then so I had no clue, and so when I had posted that picture on my social media, she was like, Linda Russo? I go, who?
Oh my God, is that how she found out?
Yeah, and she goes, I didn't tell you about Linda Russo. I go, who is that? And she was like, you took a picture with her. I said, which one? And she goes, I didn't tell you about Linda Russo. I go, no. And so I had just met Jaleesa about a couple of months prior to that. She started following me on social media. And so she never lifted weights or anything like that. She started following me and my team. And she was like, man, if you guys can do it, then like I can do it too. So
Right.
that's how she started lifting. And so then from that, she was like, I'm going to sign up for this competition, which then turned into you signing up before she did.
Isn't that
So,
crazy?
yes. But so that's why she was like, yo, there's this like, you met Linda Russo. I was like, so that's how this whole conversation got started. And I was like, I think that's pretty dope. And
Oh yeah,
so,
I think
and
that's crazy.
so that's why I was like, so social media is not all bad. It's just like,
No, no,
no,
depends on what you do with it.
it's what you do with it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's why I was like, when she told me the story, I was like, man, please get a hold of her. And so, and then so happens that I was not even supposed to compete. So how, like, because I bodybuild. And so what happened was like I wanted my team. My team was like, oh, I think I'm gonna take a break. I was like, so I signed up for this competition just to get one under my belt. And so when they saw me sign up, all of them signed up. There was
Oh
all
my
those,
gosh.
yeah. So they all signed up. And so, and then I had done a bodybuilding competition 2 weeks prior. So my weight was very, very low. So that's how I ended up in the first session. And then so anytime I finish a bodybuilding competition, I gain about 20 pounds because
Holy cow.
I deplete so much. And so I had spiked up my weight and I was like, oh crap, I gotta drop weight for this competition. I lost 10 pounds in like 48 hours and I was still off by a couple of pounds. And I was like, I was so weak that day. And I was like, oh man, why am I even here? But I just wanted the experience, but I felt
Right.
like I was so out of it. And
Yeah, but
so
you didn't show it.
no, like Linda, it showed, girl. Like I was struggling. And so, and that's why I had told you, I said, I go, I promise you, no one's going to remember the numbers, but they're going to remember the impression that you leave them. And I said, just give them a show. And then when you were like, should I? I go, oh, you should most definitely. And then it brought me so much joy, just like you be like, and then I was like, hey, the next time you go out there, go like this, and then go like this. And you were like, okay. And I that made everything worth it. Like everything why I signed up, it just made everything worth it. Because
Oh, that's great.
sometimes I'll
That's
be
great.
signing up for things. I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah, yeah. And that's why. I mean, it's weird. It's weird because my kids, both my girls that are grown, they always go to me, oh, well, one time somebody said to, they always say to me, oh yeah, get my mother out there. She's like the mayor. She'll know everybody by the end of the party. And they always go, like, my cousin works at one of the inns up in North Conway and as the night director, the night watch person, right? And so one of my kids goes to me, oh, and who are you, the night events coordinator? So they were waiting for me to do something. Do you know what I mean?
What did they
And
say? What did they say when you told them that you signed up for a powerlifting meet?
So my oldest daughter goes, oh Ma, that's fantastic. And she goes, like you can just continue with my fitness guy, right? And so of course, if I said my jaw was out of whack, she'd look at me because she does myofascial release too. And she goes, oh, she says your left hip is out of whack. Here, let me sign you up for the chiropractor, and then we'll sign you up for myofascial release. Right? I mean, I had more damn massages. I could never done this without her. She was so psyched, right? She was so psyched. She goes, Everybody else's mother is like in their 70s and they're holding on to a cane or something. Oh no, my mother's signing up for the powerlifting.
Yeah. So with a few minutes left,
Yeah.
that's what I want you to say, like, for anyone that doubts like their capabilities and their abilities, or maybe they feel like they're too old, or that just sounds ridiculous. What is it that you want to say with them to say, like you said, like, there's no age in your world.
No.
So what do you want to say to them? The floor is yours.
Okay. I think what you have to do is take age out of it. And everybody can say, oh yeah, but this hurts, but that hurts. Well, you know what? I was told 15 years ago that I would have bilateral knee replacements because I have severe arthritis in my knees. Well, I squatted 143 pounds and my knees are okay. You just find ways to do it. You use knee sleeves and whatever, you know. So whatever it is you want to do and you accomplish, just go for it. Because there's plenty of people out there will help you. You never put a parameter on that says I'm too old, or I can't do that, or I'll never be able to do that. Well, you haven't tried. And if you haven't tried, then you don't know that you can't do it. So I just go ahead and do it. And if I can't, then I find a way around it and maybe I'll do a sidebar of it. But but I think that's what you have to do. There's nothing else you can do. Your life is very short. I'm a nurse. I know how short life is and how short it is for us to be healthy and happy. And my husband used to say, because he had severe PTSD from Vietnam, and he would say to the kids, you know what, look up in the sky and the sky is blue and there's plenty of clouds, and then you choose, do I want to be happy? And if I want to be happy, then you're going to figure out a way to do it. That's
I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
Linda, thank you so much for joining and sharing your story.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Definitely part of the president of the Why Not series.
The president of the Why. I'll tell my kids that.
Yeah, you are definitely like the icon of the Why Nots for sure. So
there's no reason why you can't do it. There's no reason why I can't do anything. There's always a way around it. And if you can't do the actual thing, then do a sidebar and work your way up. You got time to work your way up. Don't let anybody tell you you're too old.
That's right. Let them know, Linda. Let them know.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to sign up for another comp as soon as I find one.
We're doing the one in the end of September in Situate, Stoneham. We're doing the one in Stoneham.
The 25th.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought about doing that, but I don't know whether it's too soon because I got all these.
There's another one. There's another one October 5th, and there's the one in Situate, and the other one in end of October.
Oh, end of October would work because I need to get out there and hike and stuff like that in the good weather. So I got activities to do. Besides,
I hope I see you again at the meet.
Oh yeah. So are those listed on the USAPL?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you're doing all of them?
No, my team is.
Oh, good. Okay, so I'll see you there.
Thank you so much again, Linda.
Thank you, Jesse. This was fabulous. It was great to meet you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's have coffee sometime.
For sure.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.